Hello everyone, and welcome back to Intoxicus Flanging. My name's Graham, and as always, I hope you remember to bring a towel. Today we're going to be talking about the skates coming back, Flange, at the end of EA Play yesterday, and I've never played a skate game. I got to check them out. I lost my interest in just skateboarding games in general around that period of time, but I totally respect skate and how big it was and how much people like it. I do need to go back and kind of catch up on that, but really what's interested me most is a comment the skate devs made, and that comment is in the title, although I paraphrased what was in the title, but they effectively said that everyone's comments are what even made skate come back. Which that's huge to get an acknowledgement that what we say in social media and online, at least when it becomes a repeated group message, has impact and matters and has effects on these companies. So we need to take that in mind as everything moves forward, and also be responsible about that and not get crazy about realizing, yes, our voices do have impact and effect. So we're going to start with remembering the hotkeys. Yeah, I remembered the hotkeys. So we're going to listen to these guys.
We're back! We're doing it! Skate's happening. We're rolling. We've secretly got together. It's the beginning. The skate evolution continues.
We've been waiting years, honestly, to make the right game at the right time with the right idea, and really pleased to say that we're here. It is really early, but it takes a little while to find Cuz or wake him up.
Dude, harsh. Still, we've got a long way to go, but we're stoked, and this is just the beginning.
It was a friendly
and seriously, we really can't wait to bring you guys in and have you be a part of it with us.
We want to thank you for your passion, your patience, and all the support that you've shown, us to get to this point.
In the comments.
It's amazing. We cannot believe you commented this into existence. Amazing. Skate changed my life. Thank you so much.
I have a feeling that's really loud for you guys.
We're back. We're doing it. Skate's happening. We're rolling.
Shit. I was talking over it.
We got together. It's the beginning. Thank you for your passion, your patience, and all the support that you've shown, us
so if the
to get to
volume's
this
a bit
point.
loud.
The comments.
It's amazing. We cannot believe you commented this into existence. Amazing.
Literally, they said this skate was commented back into existence. That's huge. That's huge to have that acknowledgement that, yes, when we get, when we say when we have a big group voice, it matters. Also think to microtransactions and EA. Well, I mean, they could always pull a bait and switch on us. It wouldn't be the first time. But so far, no microtransactions, no fucking nothing. Everything in-game earned in-game, and they're making a big deal of that. And it's only a $40 USD game, which kind of blows me away. So I can't help with the $40 USD pricing be like, what do they got planned? But it's probably DLC packs, would be my guess. If they're not doing microtransactions and they need to keep this online game going, it'd be DLC packs, and they'll just keep on adding shit and giving us DLC packs. I'm totally fine with that. I mean, we've had expansion packs since I can remember, literally. I always remembered having expansion packs and add-on packs and stuff. Yeah, that hotkey shouldn't be affecting Twitter like that. Anyway, so we'll play the full video, full screen that though, without sound in the background, from the EA Play, just to have something for you guys. So this actually should be a kind of a shorter daily flange finally. So yeah, basically I want people to really think about, well, let's move me so I'm not kind of in their way awkwardly. So I really want people to think about when it comes to review bombings and all this stuff, they pay attention. They notice these things, and I think what happens when we're like, oh, what the fuck are they doing? We're saying what we want, and they're not doing anything about it. Some of these fucking corporate entities are ridiculously disconnected, and how they presented all the Star Wars Squadron stuff. That's they should have had that everything Star Wars Squadron, premiere live stream announcement. Show us the gameplay. Tell us everything. Don't have a fucking link in the description to some other bullshit people are going to miss that tells you actually the stuff you want to know. Tell us everything right there when you have the hyped event. And like that kind of disconnect is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. And yeah, I think that's more of a factor. I think they hear and I think the messages often do get to them, but they don't give them enough credence, or they think there's reasons why they can't implement it, even though they actually probably can. And sometimes there are legitimately things in the way. So we do have to be fair there. There are things that get in the way, and there are corporate business things that make some of these things more complicated. That is true, but that's not an excuse. Those things aren't permanent, impenetrable barriers or obstacles. They can be figured out and flanged up. And, when it comes to this thing of like listening to us and all that kind of stuff, it's in their interest for more money and profits to listen to us. I mean, there's some shit, and I will admit, be straight up, there is some shit where, we as consumers say what we want, and there's things we don't know that make it so that what we think we want isn't actually what we want. And it's just an information disparity thing. Like this whole thing where gamers don't know what they want. Bullshit. I call bullshit on that. It's not that we don't know what we want. It's we don't always have all the information we need. And that leads into communication and transparency. And you know what? I'm going to use the Command & Conquer remaster Troubles with Steam I'm having as a perfect example. So when it comes to communication, they have not said a damn fucking thing. We'll go back to record. The hotkeys, it shouldn't, I'll figure that out, what the fuck's up with that, because it should be doing the hotkey even if I'm focused on the Twitter page. Anyways, where was I now? Oh yes, Command & Conquer Remastered not working on Steam. Can't even get it start. It's absolutely ridiculous. Significant number of people also have this problem. Lots of people posting on Steam, all that. They've not said a damn word being like, oh, we know there's a, significant enough amount of players not even able to play the game on Steam that we should make a statement on Twitter and be like, hey, we know there's a bunch of people that can't play. We're working on it. We're aware of the issue. We're doing our best. Here's some more info about what we do know about the issue. And then, I'm willing to deal with that. But they didn't say a damn thing. And then they release this, or not release, but they post on Reddit about this big update coming, and they hype all these things they're going to fix. Not a fucking mention of all the people on Steam who can't even play the fucking game. So I get a little bit frustrated with that, because that's kind of a pet peeve of mine. I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers, you're releasing a big update, and you ain't even fixing the shit that people who paid for the game can't even play it? Like, that's like number one. Make sure people can actually run the game. Although, to be fair, Command & Conquer, the originals, have a long history of being fucking hard to run, even on the original hardware they were built for. When I first encountered Command & Conquer as a kid, it was my dad trying to fix a client's PC, or trying to make Command & Conquer Tiberian Dawn run on a client's PC, and he was never successful. Command & Conquer has a long history of this. So I do give him some fairness, I guess. Can't really think of the good word. Anyway, so I do give them fairness points on that, because they are dealing with some levels of mediocre coding, or just technical. Anyways, don't want to take too long here, so I'll get off that sidetrack. Anyways, so there is some leeway, I guess, for Command & Conquer's history, but the game's got to fucking run for people. And, if it's just a small handful of people, just one or two people here and there, that's a different story. There's enough people posting about this. They should be like, hey guys, we know this is fucked up. We know this is frustrating, but we're dealing with it. Anyways, so what I'm getting to is I actually went as far as to hunt down Jim Vasella's email address. Don't abuse that. I mean, obviously, if I can do it, you can do it. Do not fucking abuse that. If I hear people finding this video and following my footsteps without me telling anyone how to do so, but it's, you all know. Anyways, if I hear of anyone fucking abusing that email because of this fucking video, I don't know what I can actually practically do, but I'll fucking not be happy about that. So don't. Be respectful. And I do gotta say, while I'm at it, I do feel a little bit regretful. I feel like I might have been a bit harsh and overbearing when I first emailed him, because I was kind of like venting my frustrations, and they are valid frustrations. I mean, it's kind of fucking bullshit to not just not be able to play the game, I fucking go to stream your scheduled stream, wind up spending all that time and more trying to fix the fucking thing, and then you still can't have someone donate so I can buy it on Origin. Thank you very much, Kiwi/Panda. I'm not sure which nickname you always prefer. Generally, he goes with Kiwi. So much thanks to him for helping me out that day. Wouldn't even have a Command & Conquer playable anything without him. Anyway, so I shouldn't have had to buy it on fucking Origin, then spend an hour reinstalling the 2008 and 2010 C++ redistributables because they were all fucked up. So even on Origin, it was a fucking hassle to get that shit running. So anyways, I emailed him. I might have been a bit harsh. I do feel kind of bad about that, but he seems to have taken it in stride. And, you know, even if we can say it's a bit deserved, I still feel weird about it. And I don't know if I can say that. I'm just saying, even if we could, and I don't know if we can, yeah. Anyways, let's try and wrap this up. So yeah, I emailed him. You know, he is trying to help me out and shit, but you know, I was totally like, yo, dude, you guys got to communicate about this. That'd make a huge difference if you guys just communicated. And yeah, so when it comes to the communication, like at first I thought they hadn't even heard about it, because I used the term flappers from Gulliver's Travels, which I got from Stranger in a Strange Land, his use of it in this manner. But, you know, with these corporate and political hierarchies, they have like a hierarchy of levels where it's like, you know, you get in contact with one guy and they decide, you know, how much of what information the next guy gets, if anything at all. And it's called flappers because in Gulliver's Travels, they had these fucking one of the species in there / races, depending on what word you want to use, had these fucking massive flappy ass ears that would go over so they couldn't hear very well. So their ears would be all like flapped over, like, you know, do this to your ears. It fucks your hearing up. You can't hear well. Your ears, you need your hearing ear shape. Anyway, so their fucking flappy ass ears, they'd have an assistant called the flapper that would open their ear up and then tell them what information they could have. So I suspect when it comes to communication and the corporate hierarchies and all that, a lot of times they might not get a lot of this information until we make a lot of noise that they can't help but hear about it, because flappers just aren't bringing it to the higher ups that actually do need to hear this feedback. So I think part of the problem why there actually is an issue where they don't respond to feedback, or at least a perception that they don't respond to feedback, part of the problem with that could be flappers not even giving them that information. And that was part of the problem with the CNC stuff I'm talking about, is it seemed like they didn't even know because they didn't say a damn thing about it. And then eventually I was told, yes, they did know. And I was like, I tried not to be harsh about it, but I was like, in the email, I was as respectfully as I could be. I was like, dude, you gotta communicate. And yeah, so they, as far as I'm aware, they haven't made any public statements on the people who can't start, but I made the point, and this goes back to the point where if they actually deal with this shit better and properly, it's more money for them and more profit for them, which is their fucking goal at the end of the day. So, you know, the point I'm long-windedly getting to is it benefits them and their profits and their goal as a capitalist corporation to do things that we want, because then we're more willing to give them money. Like, that I have to say these words in hopes that these corporate people will hear this to try and ram it into their heads is fucking insane, especially in the kind of capitalism we have, where that's their goddamn mission, is to make profit. That's their only mission. They don't even have ethical imperatives before making profit. Like, it's all profit. And if you just break down, okay, how do we maximize profit? Give them what they want. And that's the thing. Well, they're not hearing what we want, or at least we don't think they hear what we want. But it seems maybe what's needed to happen for them to hear what we want is it needs to be a persistent, loud but respectful group voice, cohesively making the same statement. Here, we'll draw to real life, what's going on in real life now. When it comes to Black Lives Matter and the George Floyd uprisings and all that, this is a bit of a stretch on the comparison. I'll just say that right before we get too deep into this. This is a bit of a stretch, but just to try and tie it into something real life to really hammer the idea through, is now we're actually making progress with people don't like using the word reform, but I will use it, like reforms and changes and making things better with police and policing specifically, and hopefully it'll spread to other issues in society these days, beneficially so. Anyways, the point is, there's a lot more to what's going on. So that the bit of a false equivalence, I'm not saying get riotous or bad phrasing. Because there's a lot of people who did come in peacefully and then it got aggravated into riotous type stuff. Just don't take my example to mean that other aspect. I'm just talking about the communication and hearing us kind of stuff of it. So basically, the changes are happening because there's a big cohesive group voice being like, this is what we want. This is what needs to change. We are sick and tired of this fucking bullshit. Although in this real life context, the comparisons to video games is limited. So I can't mention that enough just because of the nature of the comparison going on here. Anyway, so I think you should all at least get the idea of what I'm getting at is at various levels, it takes cohesive group voices in a respectful manner, depending on the context, to get it done. And even with the review bombings, it gets a little bit past respectful, to say the least. And I have mixed feelings about that. I get it. It's just there's a lot of people who just take that too far, is what I'd say. But I totally get it. I'm not against review bombing. People need to self-check and not go too far with it. That's all I'd say about review bombing. Mostly just to keep it simple, but review bombing is a great example. When people review bomb, they cohesively speak their voice, and it's been heard. It's directly caused changes in games that people wanted for the betterment of the game. And it's just, if there's any big takeaway or anything from this video, it's our voices do matter. They do count. They can be heard. But we need to be cohesive. We need to be persistent. We need to be congruent and maybe not organized, but we need to all be on the same page on at least a fundamental level to really move forward. And when this organically happens, the results are we got skate back. Crappy games get shit fixed. Battlefront 2 gets microtransactions and loot boxes not necessarily fully removed, but made not so crappy, although that was kind of a bit too late to really have the biggest benefit. Hell, even Anthem, they're trying to redo Anthem to not make it crappy, and I hope they succeed, although I want them to succeed, but who knows? Gotta wait and see how that flanges up. Anyways, I think you guys should all get what I'm getting at and everything at this point. Yeah, we need to keep this up. We need to be, speak our mind, but we need to be respectful about it. Don't swear at them, don't call them pig fuckers, don't call them assholes. Maybe imply it lightly, but don't directly outright say it. But, there's a difference between being like, yo, you're an asshole, dude, and be like, dude, I think your actions are having a negative effect. That kind of thing. Be like, hey, I think this decision is a bad one, and I think it's negatively affecting your profits. So I might have a harsh tone and, have a very forceful tone when I try and attempt to communicate with these companies and entities. I have in the past tried to and not always gotten responses or anything, but I'm just that kind of person. So I've tried to do that, and I've also had to advocate for myself in like real life shit where I've had to toe that line of like giving them shit but not actually outright like swearing at them and calling them pieces of shit. So I'm basically calling them assholes without actually saying it, and there is a bit of an art to that I'm learning. So that's kind of its own thing. I mean, that's the kind of stuff school should teach, though, is like that kind of tact and how to be interact with people so you can like say what you mean without being a dick about it. And anyways, don't want to get too sidetracked, and it is time to wrap that up. You all should be get a good idea what I'm flanging on about and all that, and I think it's fucking great we got Skate 4, or not necessarily Skate 4, but we got Skate back, even though I'm not big into it. It's great that our voices are able to be heard and actually can make a difference. Oh, excuse me. And we need to keep it up, and just, if anything, get better at it and learn how to be more effective at it. just on an individual basis. If everyone individually takes the time and effort to get better at respectfully communicating their dissent and disagreement, then the group voice overall improves. If at the individual level everyone steps that game up a notch, then the game on the big picture steps up, and then we're heard even better. And that's the thing. Also, too, one last point is, when groups express their feelings or opinions, etc., but it comes across in an insulting or offensive or just kind of shitty and aggressive manner, that turns people off too, and that ties in with just what I was saying there, and that'll turn the corporate people off. The flappers will keep those fucking ears shut and won't pass the messages on. So yeah, it's very important not to just outright swear at these, even if you're just posting on Twitter about it and, tagging them or something, don't swear at them. Don't call them pieces of shit or pig fuckers or anything like that. Definitely stay away from like highly charged terms that are like extra controversial, because they'll just shut down and be like, oh, it's just assholes. We don't want to help assholes. So if they think you're an asshole, they won't want to help you. But it can get not that simple, because sometimes they're the asshole first and they don't want to realize it, and then you're just kind of like matching what they're flanging. And anyways, we gotta wrap this up. So yeah, okay, so with the VR streaming and shit, that's been way more of a fucking learning curve than I ever imagined it would be. And actually, now thinking back about it, it's like I should have really just scheduled to get used to VR stream before even trying to stream Half-Life Alyx. So I made a bit of a mistake there, but there's a value in this. All this VR videos are going to YouTube because there's a value, because anyone that's new to VR, now they can really get an idea of like what it's like to get into VR, because you got all these like setup guides and all this shit. But, I don't think there's at least there's nothing I found that like really like shows you what someone's experience first getting into VR is, like I've just streamed. Like, where is that? Especially like all the excitement and freaking out and like novel experiences is like, man, if such a stream was done by someone else but of a higher quality just because they have more experience, I'd be all over that. Even though I've just done it, I'd love to watch someone else's like first time getting into VR experience like I've just done and still doing. Anyways, what I'm getting at is starting at 12:30, although I don't know, I've had some busy random shit popping up days, so there might get delayed. I just want to throw that caveat out there. So I'm aiming for a 12:30 stream for the VR Flange for today. So the idea is like 12:30 to maybe like 4:20 or so. 4:20. I'm a silly towel like that. Anyway, so probably end around, well, maybe more like 4, so I can go have my own little 4:20. And then, give myself a bit of a break, time to like, have a good lunch and relax. And then we're going to stream Half-Life Alyx at 5:30 tonight. And then that gives people who are back to work and all that, gives them time to, get back home and all that, and, get back home from work to be able to watch it, not at work, and really watch it. So yeah, there's just, oh my god, there's so much cool, crazy fucking shit. So I'll be doing that that Steam Lab Flange. Anyways, I should stop rambling. I'm pushing fucking time. I thought we were going to be short today. Fuck. Anyways, where's the shout out scene? There we go. So before we go any further, got a shout out to our Patreon supporters and the super special shout out to the Valve Index GoFundMe donors. The Valve Index, what's flanging right now with that would not be possible without you guys. Thank you so fucking much. I can't say it enough. I'm going to say this every fucking time until fucking someone tells me to shut the fuck up about it. Because I just like literally I've had several moments where I stopped and paused and was like, is this real? I really get to do this. This is really happening. I really get to have this VR experience and stream it and share it, even though I don't have a lot of viewership, but that's not the point. That's growing though. Thank you. That's more what I want to say is thank you for the growth. That's improving that. But yeah, we got to wrap this up though, so I should stop fucking rambling. But yeah, I'll be thanking all you guys until the end of fucking time. This is amazing. I can't I'm just so thankful this is even possible at all for me. And with the past fucking like 5-6 years of fucking insane bullshit, I gotta say it's about fucking time. Like, I don't know. I hope that's not too weird to say or anything, but like, just, yeah, a lot of people might not know the kind of shit I've dealt with. Truly, with the fucking, what I've had to deal with the past 5 or 6 years, it's goddamn time some fucking shit flanged up like this. So I'm so thankful. I can't, just so thankful. I'll spend 5 fucking minutes just fucking being thankful. That's hyperbole, not really. We're gonna move on now. So shit, I should have said subscribe and all that sooner. So if you're still hanging around, make sure to subscribe. That'd probably be more over there ish. Anyways, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, all that good stuff. Then you always know when the new content is and all that flanging. Give me a thumbs up if you're liking this, thumbs down if you don't. But if you give me a thumbs down, do me a quick favor, give me some constructive criticism and feedback. Let me know how I can improve and do better. I'm still quite new at this, always looking to improve. Just try and be respectful about it. Don't like I was saying earlier in the video, don't call me an asshole or, be respectful. Yeah, Twitch, Flange, comments, all that good stuff. I was supposed to ask questions, but I forgot. What do you think of all this? With this whole skate thing and previous incidents, what do you think of review bombing? What do you think of like previous things that have happened? What do you think about this whole thing where they just straight up said your comments remade skate back into existence, which is like, that's so cool for them just to straight up let us know that. That's so cool of them to say that, because lots of people wouldn't say that because they'd be worried it'd be a bad encouragement. Anyways, so I think that about wraps it up. One of these days I'll actually stay within 20 to 25 minutes at most, but today is not that day. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Remember to bring a towel.